It's just recording now. All right, so welcome to the first discussion video of this channel. And I guess this is discussion of comparing Naruto and Black Clover, because to me I can hear him laughing already. But to me, these two animes seem most similar because the two main characters seem to be striving for a goal of leading in their groups and also being the underdog, and also they both seem to have both demons inside of them. And there is some differences which we will go over later. But right now, I guess just that sums up what we're doing, I guess. So main reason why I'm comparing these two specifically, other than, well, My Hero and, well, I can't think of another example right now, is because
we're like caught
what are you
a
saying?
lot of flack for like people thinking Asta was like a rip off Naruto.
I just want to go over my Hero point, mainly because in My Hero, Deku has somebody who's mentoring him, who he has to strive to be like, and that is All Might, of course. All Might and him, see, All Might kind of kills the argument for Deku to be like Naruto, because Naruto had nobody to look up to, I guess, in the beginning.
Well, they did have people to look up
not
to,
like,
so they're Asta.
Not as egregious as All Might, who was literally the number one hero, and because the people who Naruto had were like the third Hokage, Kakashi, Jiraiya, and Kakashi, he left, and then Jiraiya was kind of around a lot, but not as blatantly obvious as just a role model to look up towards. And then, well, the Hiruzen was never around and then died. So there. Yeah, no.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like, really, that All Might equivalent for Naruto, I really think that's just Jiraiya, because that's where Naruto got his signature Rasengan move from. And then, in terms of Asta, it's not really equivalent in terms of that being Yami. It's just Yami's that person Asta loves.
That's just his like leader, not really much as like his idol.
But still though, it's like, because you see it in his core character moment. See, like Asta in the like final episode literally wears his black boy thing just like Yami. He kind of looks like Yami in the end when he like gets all jacked and crap like that.
I say the jacked part is mostly out of necessity more than like idolizing Yami, because he doesn't really have any way to work out his actual abilities. He doesn't really have more. He is very limited in terms of what he can do with his abilities, and that's why.
I'm not saying he got like super jacked because of Yami.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, in a sense, when he did get more jacked, he did like look more similar to Yami. Plus the way he worked his blackboard thing.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, Naruto really doesn't have any idols, I guess, other than those people I listed. But they're not really blatantly supposed to be the person he looks up towards. He's supposed to be striving to be an idol. So that's why. Which is Asta's equivalent too.
Okay, so two things with that. Like Naruto, to me, he did have an idol with that, and within that being Jiraiya. And then the thing with Asta, you can argue Asta was kind of like an idol throughout the entire show, because he's the first guy to join the Holy Knights without having magic.
True.
I don't know. They're not called Holy Knights. I forgot
Magic
what they were
Knights.
called. You said what?
Magic Knights. Holy Knights are... I think the Holy Knights are from Seven Deadly Sins.
Yeah, okay, Magic Knights.
Yeah.
Well, you could like argue that Asta's always been the idol in his universe, because he basically did the impossible.
Oh yeah, that is true.
And then more so for that, Yami being his idol, because Yami let him join the Black Bulls. Yami had no reason to let Asta join,
other than the fact that he liked him. He liked He's like, this kid is cool. Like, this kid is pretty cool, so let him join. But another thing, it's not just Asta that's the reason why I compare him. Also, Yuno is another reason why I compare him. Not really can't really compare him to Sasuke, because they're very different and they serve different purposes, kind of. Well, they do kind of serve the same purpose, to have the main character have someone to strive to be better than this person. But but Yuno and Asta have a more friendly relationship than Sasuke all the ways because
for real, because the direction Kishimoto and like the writer for Black Clover, the way they made their rivals were in two completely different ways. Also, I do think the way Kishimoto was more unique than the way he worked with Yuno, because with Yuno it was like like the
Kishimoto didn't work with Yuno.
Shonen thing, right? You said what?
Kishimoto didn't work with Yuno.
I mean, wait, no. I'm talking about. No, I'm saying how he worked with Sasuke. I don't.
Yeah, I know.
I should have got the name of the writer for Black Clover, so I could just call him by name.
Let me look him up real quick. You can keep going.
But essentially, we just had really probably just carry his own OVA. To be honest with you.
What do you say?
Like can probably carry his own OVA.
Oh yeah, he could.
Well, essentially, I'm just saying like the way Yuno was handled was like more on the like cliche side, if you want to say.
I don't.
While like Sasuke.
You think Yuno's the more cliche type?
Well, kind of, because like Yuno was like he was created just to be better than Asta, essentially, and then like Asta would just went the entire series working his way up to and eventually becoming. Well, this is like manga territory. Like arguments.
Another thing between Asa and no, not Asa, Yuno and Sasuke, comparing the two, Naruto. I do appreciate Yuno and Asa's relationship more than Naruto and Sasuke's, especially when there's people who question why Naruto and Sasuke are even friends, but I don't question it at all with Yuno and Asa because they grew up together. They have more history together than Naruto and Sasuke because they not only because they grew up together, but because that promise they made that both of them should become Wizard King. And they have that rivalry growing that kind of makes me root for Asta more because not only because you have two characters that you can kind of like and see that they're both striving for this pretty well, and you see that when you see Naruto and Sasuke strives for a much different goal than Naruto because his goal was to kill his brother for revenge, which was understandable, but it didn't really relate to Naruto as much as you think. It's very complex how it actually relates to Naruto because it only relates to his father's death because his father died because of.
Let me cut you right there.
Yeah, what?
Let me cut you right there. Because so the Kishimoto, like when Kishimoto wrote Sasuke, he wanted him to be Naruto's rival, but not like how Yuno was to Asta per se. Because essentially, I guess Kishimoto just didn't want him competing with Naruto to be Hokage. He wanted Sasuke to have his own thing to make him like a more complex character while also rivaling Naruto. But at the same time, it's not to like take a knock at Black Clover because the way he set up and Asta, it's actually really in Asta's favor, if you ask me, because he's literally pinned up against like an actual prince from another land.
Yeah, I don't see
that's his rival.
I don't see how that would even be a knock at Black Clover. But you're right, because he is pinned up against a whole other prince to become become the king to become the Wizard King. And literally has no. I don't know how it's just. I was gonna say no, that's not right at all. But he's born talented. He is almost an unparalleled talent in his own world because he was basically an elite wizard without really even having his grimoire yet. This man was casting spells like nothing, and he didn't even have his grimoire yet. It was turned out to be a 4th-leaf clover, which is rare in its own right. So he was rare in his own world, an elemental wizard. I don't even think I saw any other real wind wizards in the Black Clover because I think
it was the first Clover King that could use wind. Yeah. It was the.
No, didn't he use light? Didn't he use light? No, that was Notch. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I almost thought one of the elves could, but no, it was the first clip. I remember the scene where he had to rescue his little sister from the tornado, and the elf in the first Clover King had the 4-leaf clover grimoire.
Yeah. So not only does he have to go against that, that is his rival, and he's still determined to go against him. And another thing about that was that he literally didn't even get a grimoire that day. He gets his grimoire at the end of that day with his. Well, yeah, he did get it that day. It was the end of the day, and it turns out to be all broken and beat up, and it turns out to be possessed by a devil. So that is what he has to work with. But it's not even. That is why I wanted to also compare this to, because they are both possessed by things that are representations of evil. The nine-tailed fox was supposed to be a demon, but then they switched it to a tailed beast.
See, here's the whole thing about that one. It's like,
that's weird.
They both characters, Asta and Naruto, they both like essentially work with demons. But the thing is, Libe wasn't with Asta until Asta got his grimoire. Unlike how Kratos was always with Naruto ever since he was born. Mm-hmm. And Libe is really never like in. Wow, that sounds kind of sus. Libe is like never like merged with Asta like how Kurama is with Naruto until they use like the demon unit, and that's in the manga.
You mean the part? Don't really know what I'm talking about. I think that part was sorry. What are you saying?
Like essentially, Libe isn't like really like sealed, not even really sealed inside Asta. They're not really like merged together how Kurama and Naruto are merged together until they use the demon unit. Like the demon unit is like in the manga, and it's more so like a fusion than like an actual like just Libe merging power with Asta's. So like they serve like, so in the grand scheme of things, like Libe and Kurama don't have the same presence.
They don't. But because Kurama is much creepier.
Because Libe,
Kurama is much creepier.
No, it's not even that. Kurama's much creepier. Libe has been foreshadowed through like the entire show to where Kurama was something we knew that was there the entire time. Yeah. We knew something wrong. Well, not even something was wrong. We knew something was like really different about Asta's grimoire. And I'm pretty sure like we were like, okay, like it's probably like demonic or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, we didn't know what was definitely going on. Like, unlike how we knew what was going on with Naruto.
Yeah, and that reminds me. Okay. They literally blatantly say it in the first episode of Naruto that you have the nine tails sealed inside of you, and that literally kind of then we see it more and more, and it makes the build up in the nervousness of when he's actually using the nine tails, especially when I remember Clyde the Weeb was talking about when he was fighting Pain, and when he has when he's breaking out of the Shibaku Tensei, and he's like, you see his 8 tails, and you're not even simply celebrating because you're worried, like, what is he gonna do because the 9 tails is breaking out. But then with Asta, it's more curiosity than nervousness because you're wondering what is happening.
Here's the thing: it's used completely different with Asta because Asta never got like that race demon form until he fought Dante, but he still got like.
Where he sacrificed his arm? Yeah. Where he sacrificed his arm, right?
No, I'm talking about when he got super angry about what happened to you.
Yeah.
I forgot the other name.
But in the first episode, I remember in the first episode, where they literally say the 4-leaf clover, the book of luck or something like that. The 5th-leaf clover.
The 5-leaf clover.
The book of the demon. And you see a demon figure behind Asta. But that can be interpreted in multiple ways. You either think there's a demon in the book, or that book is just made by the devil, and you don't exactly know what it means.
Yes, that is also true.
That's just the point I wanted to say.
And then throughout the series, like when they started fighting the elves, essentially when they went underwater and fought the super buff elf, I don't remember his name, but like there's like a single frame of where like you see a demon when Asta's coming at them. It's kind of hard to catch. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can put it up right quick.
Remember,
like that type of foreshadowing is like on another level, bro. And that's like you really need to pay attention to find stuff like that.
I like the foreshadowing with Asta. Remember when they fought that demon? I forget his name. I never know how to pronounce his name, but he's the demon with the red in his mouth, the horns, the one that I drew for our class last year.
I know about.
I forget his name. Dang, what's his name? It's the. Hopefully, I have a picture of him pulled up later. But he was so creepy, and he was so powerful and hard to beat that it took so much to beat him from all the Magic Knight squads and literally several captains and the literal first Magic Knights, the first King, Wizard King, and the leader of the elves had to come together to beat that dude. And I was still thinking to myself, and it was like, when they finally beat him and Asta's demon was like staring him face to face, and it's like, he's like saying so much stuff to him. He's like saying, he basically was saying weak to him, and I don't remember what he was saying specifically, but I should have researched this before I started talking about it. But when that part came up, you was wondering, does this mean Asta's demon has potential to be stronger than this guy? And if it was true, I was thinking, dang, Asta's gonna be Wizard King easily if he's stronger than this guy. If it takes the
that's like,
yeah,
like, so what I can say though, like, the one thing I really do like about Black Clover is that even when Asta like gets a power up, he's still like way weaker than other characters. Cause like the first time Naruto got like an actual like significant power up to me with that being Sage Mode, he was like just in his own league, right? Like no one in the village can touch him. He was pretty much the strongest person in his village when he got Sage Mode. And then it just kept going with KCM2, and then he merged it with Sage Mode in freaking 6 paths. And it's like, okay. And then it got to a point where like it just turned like into the Naruto and Sasuke show after they got 6 paths. Like all the other characters kind of irrelevant like that.
That was towards the end, so it kind of fit. But yeah.
Well, we have Boruto now, so that kind of really shows. But,
R.I.P. the Renegon.
For real,
bro. This man. The side note: this one man on this one YouTuber I watched, he said the only way that Boruto and Sadara are gonna stop the Ototsukis from taking over the world is if they are clapping everybody's cheeks, or if they get the Renegon in Sage Mode.
They're gonna need more than the Renegon in Sage Mode.
Oh, easily, 100%. Also, what was I saying? Okay, good thing.
And so here's the thing with Black Clover that does really well with like power lifting is because like Asta learns like many new techniques and he gets like 2 new forms as like throughout the. Well, I'm kind of counting them on with this one. Well, essentially, he's still like in that same sort of tier with the higher tier of fighters. He's not just a step above everyone.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting how you brought up Sage Mode as the first significant power boost that he got, because I'd argue before that it was the KN0. And
you argue it was what?
Because you're saying that's the first significant boost. That is the boost that put him above everyone in the village. But a first real significant boost, I'd argue, is KN0 because it really hints at the 9. It not just significance for like how strong it is, but also significance for the story, because it does hint at his potential to master Kurama.
I'm just like talking about something he can like always rely on to like transform into.
That's kind of interesting.
Because I wouldn't consider like using a mental chakra reliable at that point.
Yeah, but that is true because Asta doesn't really have any real form. Well, he does have that new form that he has where he can go into that base one that he used when he got the first time and he fought that one red-haired dude. Dang, I feel so sledge. And then fought the red-haired dude whose name no one remembers because he sucked. Well, because he didn't suck, but he was just there so shortly. And he just got his butt kicked, his cheeks clapped inside out, and went on to turn that form on. So, yeah. I went back and rewatched that fight earlier today, too, just to remember this. So, that form he kind of can go back in and out of, which is kind of nice. Especially after the time skip. Also, the main point that I wanted to bring up, but the similarities kind of stop here. But the similarities between Sakura and Noelle are 0, and I love it.
Yeah, because like Noelle like in the beginning of the series, right? Like at the bare minimum, she was like able like to defend other people, right? She just couldn't really attack.
She seemed like she was gonna be Sakura so much, but then she just flipped it 180.
No. Not even like close, because she's still able to defend. Like Sakura in part 1 was like when they did bridge
non-existent.
Mission, right? Like she got in front of the bridge builder with a kunai, so I'll protect you. And like, bro, come on now. Let's take ourselves seriously here. You're not gonna do anything.
It's even worse. Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna block actual like reasonable attacks from the enemy.
Shoot, what's a Naruto video without bashing Sakura for a second? So for real. So in the part, and especially in the Forest of Death, where she literally does nothing. The Chunin exams, she literally does nothing. Whatever she did, it was definitely off screen, or off panel, and
well, like in the Forest of Death, like at the bare minimum, she took care of Naruto and Sasuke when they passed out.
Yeah, when they passed out, but then several other ninja came to defend them.
Yeah, after like she bit one of the Sound Ninja, bro. Like
yeah, that bite. I mean, goodness, Jesus Christ! You see that how hard she bit her? Like that must have put a mark in her for at least 2 days.
For real.
Noelle can never. Okay, let's stop joking and just say what Noelle actually has done so far. Noelle's character.
And the Elf arc is really where she kind of pops off. Really, that's where she starts to pop off, because that's when she gets her Valkyrie armor, how her mom has it.
Even I'd argue before that, and when she actually, it was, when? Oh no, yeah, you're right. The Valkyrie armor. I was thinking of the second one with the mermaid form. Yes,
the mermaid form is basically in the series for the anime.
Yeah.
Where she's trying to.
You're right.
I don't know how to pronounce the queen's name. But yeah, when she's training with the queen, and then uses it against
the Heart Kingdom Queen.
Yes.
The Heart Kingdom Queen. That was fun. Okay.
And then she used it against Monica, but Monica's. It's like hello. Let me check with the Dark Tribe right quick. Because like, bro, honestly, it's just like one of the. Okay, so I don't want to say it too much. I just found out what's meant, man. This is mainly towards Dante and Vaughn in terms of the Dark Tribe. They're like actual idiots. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. It was just the audio was choppy. So okay, go back to your point about Hidan.
Yeah. So like every Akatsuki number is like interesting, and then like, you come to like the Dark Tribe number, and it's like at first glance they're interesting, but like then we find out that like they're like double possessed, and that's still interesting in itself. But
what?
Then we get like some backstory in the manga. We got story on Monica and. You said what?
Okay, I just had to cut that because for some reason that if I actually edited this well, then I'll have to cut that, and you'll be hearing me talk now and not know what I'm talking about. So we were talking about how Hidan sticks out to Akatsuki.
Yeah, so basically like the Dark Tribe in Akatsuki.
Yeah.
Like the Dark Tribe members, like this is mainly pointed toward Monica and Dante. They're kind of like meatheads with a lot of power. Or essentially, you just call them idiots. Because, like, in the backstory where, like, we see Monica fight Noelle's mom, like, the demon inside her says, yo, you're about to die. We need to leave. And, like, you see Monica sitting there with a smiling on her face, like, oh, okay, I guess we just leave. And it's like, why do you need to be told that you're about to freaking die?
That is so stupid. I don't think I remember that. Was that in the manga or was that in the anime?
And so then like where my like Dante comes from is also from is how he speaks pretty much.
Yeah.
Because that's also supported. They're just kind of just people with a lot of power and don't really know how to fight like that.
So basically, you're saying that they're really dumb because they don't know how to fight right because they don't know when to retreat, or
no, this is because Monica and Dante.
Specifically, Veronica and Dante. Okay. And
well, do you know how Dante is beat
in the manga?
Yes.
No, I just watched the anime and sub. But
you want me to tell you?
Yeah, you can go over it. Hopefully, it doesn't be as choppy.
All right. So what Dante is beat is that magma creates this like incredibly powerful spell.
Oh wait, no. I thought okay, no, don't spoil that. Okay, I thought you meant like you're gonna go over like how he got beat in the first time, not like that. Okay.
Oh no, not first time. No. This cover from the manga.
Oh Jesus, I when you brought up Magnus, because like Jaden already spoiled that part for me. I know we're dropping mad spoilers, but that's not gonna be in here.
All right, man. But look. I'm telling you. So just so you can see what I'm talking about, just read up to the point where Dante is defeated, and you'll be like, "Bro, are you kidding me?"
Okay, but I already know
like,
that. I already knew that he.
All I gotta say.
Okay, I'm gonna have to bleep that out. But I already know that he gets beat by him because Jaden spoiled that for me. But I'm not gonna read the manga to see that. 'Cause that's like the one thing I don't want to get spoiled for me.
Get beat by him. You like explain that a little bit. I know that hurt, cat. Well, since you know you get beat by him, you it?
No, I don't.
Alright, boy.
I already let you spoil Attack on Titan as I asked for it. But I don't want that for Black Clover. I want to see this. Also, this is back to our points in comparison. You were comparing the Akatsuki to the Dark Triad because the Akatsuki are more interesting and complex characters, but the Dark Triad apparently, 2/3 of them are meatheads, which is true. Well, I guess there are more members than those three, so I guess it's not 2/3. They just have those underlings. They just have those underlings, like the people who was fighting Leo and Luck. They had those guys fighting them, and they could not die, even when they got beat, which sucked.
Right, but like the thing about it is that, like the character. Okay, so specifically the main three, like Dark Triad, right? Like Zeno is debatably probably still like the only interesting one because we got some more backstory on him. Dante and Vonica, they kind of have power in a way because if you compare it to the Akatsuki members, right? They have power, but they have like most of them have an amount of depth to their character. Because you go to someone like Nagato or like Itachi or Obito, right? Like there's heavy reasoning to why they do what they do. And like how complex their abilities are, and like they can still like fight in like almost any situation. But like, you go to the Dark Triad members, and like they're not as like versatile / like independent in a way, because they're very reliant on like the demon that they use. Aside from Zeno. Okay, so I keep turning to manga territory because we don't see nothing from Zeno from the anime. Only that he beat the Golden Gates.
Golden Dawn.
The Golden
Other than
Dawn,
the fact that he literally beat the heck out of them, like he murdered the entire guild. He murdered the entire Mighty Knight Squad by himself. It was so bad to watch. I was thinking to myself, like, dang. I thought he was the weakest one. I was thinking, isn't he the weakest one?
Actually, he's the strongest one because he has the strongest demon.
It is like I just thought that the main guy was
Dante and then Veronica. Terms of how strong they are.
Zeno, Dante, then Veronica. Okay. Why are they?
Veronica. It's not Veronica. It's Veronica.
Veronica. Okay. Why do they put him out like Dante is the strongest one? Like they act like he is in the show.
Because you can. Okay, so if you want to debate, it can still be like a debate within itself if Dante is the strongest or not, because he is very difficult to kill.
I'm not arguing that he is, because clearly, like Zeno's feat of beating the Golden Dawn was more impressive, even though Dante arguably could have done it himself either way. But what?
Yeah, you're probably right. It's you know what? Actually, because like here's the thing. It's like a regenerating character. Like so, like it's like Agris or Octopus Man with the spin pad hit him with a big enough like delete button attack that he probably would be able to beat him if he set up correctly.
It's like Dante could have done things differently. It's like the show acts like he's the strongest, but Zeno did beat the heck out of the strongest Magic Knight squad. No diff to them. He literally didn't. He didn't even have a scratch on him when the fight was over. He put them all on shish kebab bone spikes. It was ridiculous, that ending. I was just shook because I thought that actually died there for a second, and then of course, William brought them back. And I was, and not gonna lie, when Klaus got, I was thinking to myself, dang, this man really trained this much for nothing.
Right.
So they had, that is like, I can't really think of a time in Naruto where like everyone got like that, other than when Madara wiped the floor with everybody. Yeah, I can't really think of a point where it was like so unexpected for this many people to die. Because when Madara came, we knew that everyone was gonna get got, especially because of regeneration. But yeah, I don't really know if the Akatsuki are a fair comparison.
Well, because the reason I even brought up that Akatsuki is because like I think it's like will be like the equivalent of like the bad group of each group.
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, I know that it's the bad group. But what?
Like,
What were you saying?
Yeah, we don't even have to like use their Akatsuki. We could like just use low key. We could just like use like 3 random antagonists. Really, like we could like use like Zabuzu. We could use Jingen, and then we could just throw one more in the mix. Low key, we could throw Sasuke in the mix too, because he was basically an antagonist at one point.
I know this is probably unfair, but I was no, that's not a good comparison either. But I was thinking about the 3 last antagonists: Obito, Kaguya, and Madara. Just because the arc is over and these are the kind of the bad guys of this last arc, and that was the last arc of Shippuden. And though it only the reason why is because it's two dudes and a girl. Only reason why I think of that. But even though those 3 didn't work as a team,
carried themselves in a way to know that like they're like the pinnacle of power in that show. So we're like it's a little different in Black Clover because like without like the demon powers, Dante and like Bonica's like. So what are you, Richard? Like, especially Dante, bro. He's like the most disappointing antagonist to me. Like, where's demon powers? He really messed up. Well, like without him, like, bro, you're just a man, bro.
Yeah, they don't really seem to. They don't work together. Neither one of these 3 villains from Naruto, the 3 villains I mentioned from Naruto, really work together. But and there's not really many ways to compare them, especially personality or backstory, because we don't really know their backstories. So yeah, that wasn't really other than
like the thing with like with the comparison, right? When you go to like where Obito, Madara, and Kaguya, right?
Their motives are so different.
Like if you take away like the 6 paths of like Madara and Obito, they're still like the highest of tier fighters in their own stove. Like you could take away Obito's Rinnegan and Madara's Rinnegan, they're still that strong, right? They have like their hand-to-hand combat, their ninjutsu, and everything else. That's for like they have their arsenal. It's just like versatile like that, and then what makes them like complex antagonists.
I think
with the Black Tribe,
it makes them difficult to beat antagonists, but complex was more on focus on the story, which is why I wanted to stop talking about them, because we don't really know much about the Dark Triad other than they just got these demons, but they don't really know their histories or their motives much. Well, you do, but probably.
I can explain Zeno's backstory. I mean, yeah, I can explain Zeno's backstory because he's actually like a really okay. I'm still rating his character, but like he also has meaning behind his character. He used to be a really good character in terms of like how the story was progressing. Like in terms of like his motives and things. He used to be like a good character. He was low key kind of like Asta in a way, really. Well, in terms of like what he wanted to be like, because it's just backstory, so I'm pretty sure people wouldn't really care. So essentially, like what happens is that like he has his own like rival to compete against because they were both striving to be number one in terms of like their in terms of like the Magic Knights. And so what happens is that there's like a gigantic demon that appears in one of their dungeons, and they go to fight it. And so Zeno's rival goes to like fight the okay, no, let me backtrack. When they go to the dungeon, they all get bodied really bad. But Zeno's rival, he doesn't give up, and he like goes and runs at the demon again to try and fight him. And then Zeno's like contemplating to himself, it's like, I can kill this demon and my friend at the cost of my friend, or I can let my friend live, and then more people will probably also die. And so Zeno killed the demon and his friend, so less people would die. But that also like messed with him mentally, because before all of this, he was already like dog tried stuff, but he gave it up. But he also returned to it after he killed his friend.
Had to kill his own friend for to save everyone else, I guess. Is what he was thinking.
That's basically what he did. He
reamed her. Kakashi and reamed him.
Yeah, low key he kind of did though. And so like you have like that type of backstory compared to what Monica is, where she's just like, which is destroying this village, and then like Noel's mom shows up to fight her. Then she takes Noel hostage, and she curses her mom, and it's just like, you know, it's cool and all once you put like the factors into the story with it, but like it's just not. It doesn't really give depth to the character. It just gives like, okay, well, this is what happened in the past when she was testing out her powers.
It's not as impactful as Naruto's villains, but their purposes still remain, and I guess it still fits the story to the purpose. Which I guess we're gonna have to wrap it up here soon. But two things left I wanted to talk about. Do you think that Black Clover is, I guess, the only best main comparison to Naruto in terms of newer anime, other than other animes?
So,
especially more than Boruto.
Yeah. So, are you asking that can we only compare Black Clover to Naruto, or can we compare it to other anime?
I'm saying, is it the best comparison to Naruto?
In a sense, yes, because at first glance it does use the same elements of Naruto, but it uses those same elements in a different way. And you will see once you actually watch it.
Why is your audio changing?
I do not know.
Okay. So yeah, that seems to be the argument, I guess. And the main purpose of the video. So yeah, Black Clover seems to be the most comparison to them. But the one thing I also want to end off with is
to mostly compare Black Clover to Naruto. If you compare Black Clover to Naruto, kind of lost.
No, it's not even close. Boruto literally doesn't have any comparison to Naruto.
Because
which is funny because they try to say that they're the same, they're so similar, but the only thing that's similar is their face.
Right. Because like Naruto isn't bad, right? Because like narratively, Naruto is kind of what Naruto would have been if he had his parents. And
yeah,
we see like some stuff Naruto go through, but like it's just not the same when it comes to Black Clover, because like Naruto doesn't really get a rifle until like Kawaki appears, right? Sarada is like just vibe.
Not even a rival. That's a love interest.
For real though, right? So that's like one of the points where they messed up by like not giving Naruto a rival.
And Kawaki's not even really a rival. That's more of his brother-ish. What they tried to say.
He's a rival because they train together in the manga and stuff like that. And they still fight with more sparring.
Well, that's something to look forward to, I guess, seeing them being rivals. But also,
see, like next video we can compare Boruto to someone else.
We'll compare Boruto to who?
Yeah, I don't know. We could like I'm gonna figure it out. See what anime we can compare Boruto to. Because I kind of feel like talking about Boruto.
Yeah, me too. Especially after the Baryon fight. Well, we'll get into that later. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, comment, share some more. I'm gonna have to edit a lot. So, bye. I'm not good at outros. James,
Yeah, I see.
James is gay. James is gay.